I get emails from loads of different companies asking me to review their products, and 99.9% of the time I say no. I've said from the start I'm only going to work with brands that I believe in and products that I'm intrigued by or interested in. I also never want to be in a position where I have to say a certain thing about a company or a brand. I always like to be 100% honest and true to myself, so if that's not an option, I'm also not going to be interested. As the channel is growing, I am getting more and more companies reach out to me asking if I'll work with them or review their products, and I had a really exciting email come through from a company I'd not heard of called Vanpowers. Vanpowers make bikes, and they sent across a new bike they created asking if I'd do a review on it, and in this case I was really interested in it, so I took them up on their offer. So this is the Vanpowers cityvanture. Now, full disclosure, they sent me this bike for free to do a review on it, but I'm allowed to give my 100% honest feedback, which I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the things I like about it, the things that intrigued me, but also some of the drawbacks, because it unfortunately does have a few, which we'll touch on later in the video. So this bike is the cityvanture, and I think that gives you a clue as to what it should be used for. It is a city knockabout bike, commuter bike effectively. It isn't going to be great for long bike packing tours, which obviously I do a lot of. I am going to take this bike on a bike packing adventure next month though and put it through its paces. So a few things that excited me about this bike when I got the email from Vanpowers HQ. Number one is that the frame disassembles into parts. Normally when you buy a frame, it is one piece of steel, aluminium, carbon. But in this case, you can actually disassemble it and put it into quite a small box, which gave me a few ideas. I take my bike abroad multiple times a year in a large bike box, which can be a bit of a pain when you get to the other end. You need to find somewhere to store it, and it just generally is a bit cumbersome. So the idea of being able to break the bike down and put it into basically a cardboard box and chuck it on a plane or put it in a bus, not have to book anything, excited me, opened up some possibilities that I don't have with other bikes. Number two, I liked the fact that it was a belt drive. I've never had a belt drive bike before. The great thing about a belt drive is it's completely silent, very little maintenance that you need to do, and it goes up to about 20,000 miles potentially before you need to change it. You obviously don't need to oil it either, so it makes maintenance a breeze. I also liked the fact that it was a single speed bike. You don't have to worry about derailleurs or maintaining the cables or anything like that, so it makes it even easier to maintain. And lastly, the thing I liked the most about it is, you might not be able to tell, it's an e-bike. It has a hidden battery in the down tube there, which you charge from this port. You also have a 250 watt motor in the rear wheel, which makes it pretty nippy. I've never had an e-bike before. The last time I rode one was about 10 years ago, when they were awful Dutch bikes with massive batteries strapped to them. Now the technology's moved on so much, it makes it a really exciting concept. It's all controlled by this cool stem that has a computer built into it. It's got 5 modes to choose from, which you toggle through, from eco all the way up to boost. I think I know which one I'm going to be using. It also comes with hydraulic Tetro disc brakes, so it's good at stopping as well as going. I really like the look of it actually. I wasn't expecting to like it that much, but the quality is really good. It's got like a chrome finish everywhere, and these nice brown accessory points make it kind of look like a vintage bike. It's even got Kenda tyres, which are also in the colour scheme. So on the whole, I think it looks pretty cool. They also throw in a kickstand and a pretty cool bell as well. Now, they only make the cityvanture in one size. I'm guessing that's for efficiency cost-wise, and you can just adjust it based on the height of the saddle, or if you want to put some risers or extensions, you absolutely can. They say this will fit from about 5'6" to 6'2", which is a bit of a broad range. I'm 6 foot exactly, and this fits really nicely. So I imagine that's about right. If you're 6'2", you're probably going to be a little bit hunched, but anything under that, I think you'll be absolutely fine. So that's what I really like about the bike. It's something a bit different, and it certainly stands out. The only things that I don't like, which I'll run through now, are A, the tyre clearance. This is running 28mm tyres at the moment, and there really isn't much space beyond that. You should be able to put 30s on, I think, quite comfortably. In a pinch, you could put on 32s, but I think it would be a very tight squeeze, and if you get any mud on there at all, you're liable to go flipping over the handlebars. Another thing I'm not too keen on is the fact that it doesn't have any eyelets for pannier racks or for mud guards. So it might be great for a knockabout if you're going into the office and you just take a rucksack with you. Otherwise, you're going to have to put bike packing bags on it as opposed to panniers, which is a bit of a drawback, and I don't think it would have been that much of a challenge for them to install the eyelets, to be honest. So it's a bit frustrating, but I am going to take it on a bike packing adventure next month, and I will be using bike packing bags to take all my stuff with me. So I'm excited to see how it fares for that. Another annoying thing is it doesn't have any mounts for bottle cages. You can get some to strap onto the handlebars or an elastic one to strap onto the frame, but I think that kind of shows what it's designed for. It's for short city trips where you don't need to take lots of stuff with you. Finally, the last minor gripe is I think the gearing's a little bit too hard. Now, I'm a reasonably strong cyclist, but getting the bike going is a bit of a challenge. The motor doesn't kick in for a couple of seconds when you're setting off the bike, and as a result, you do feel like you're doing a bit of a track start. But once you get going, it's really, really good. And I know it's a challenge with single speed to get the gearing right, but I just think it needs to be ever so slightly smaller. Now, because this bike breaks down into sections, you can actually order it disassembled, and it comes in its parts in a small box. It is slightly cheaper to order it that way, I'm guessing because it saves on time and postage costs. However, I would recommend spending the £80 extra if you are going to buy this bike, because it is a little bit of a challenge to build it up, and I am literally the least mechanically minded person on the planet. So I took one look at it and thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this properly. So I had to send it to a fantastic guy I use at Cogs and Coffee in Selby, who built the bike for me, and it does look fantastic. So my advice to you is don't skimp on the £80. Pay it, get it delivered, pre-built, and then you're ready to go. Overall, I really like this bike. I am genuinely impressed with it. I didn't think I would be, but I love how stylish it looks and how simple it is. I love how discreet it is as well, and all the electronics are in the stem. That's something I've never seen before. I'm definitely going to use this next time I go to the city, especially next time I go down to London. I can't wait to whiz around the capital using this 250-watt motor. I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what you think about this bike. I certainly think it's cool, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I can't wait to put it through its paces and take it bike packing next month, so stay tuned for the cinematic bike packing film I'm going to make using this. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.